Good morning, everyone. Welcome again from my side. My name is Alex Caldas. I'm Business Development Manager for Process Control Systems. And today I'm delighted to present alongside Gerd Kling, PlantSight to you. First, I'd like to clarify the topics or add some topics that we are going to explore today during the next 45-50 minutes. As you can see in our agenda, we've got an introduction to PlantSight. After, we have a live demonstration with Gerd. After that, we'll show you a little bit about the architecture and some references. And finally, we'll have our Q&A session. With this, let's get started. I would like to start with some challenges that we all face nowadays with regarding to data. Yeah, complexity. To be honest, the customers don't complain by saying that they don't have data available. The complexity is that they have a huge quantity of data in different areas and in different formats and in different applications. Dark data, yeah. Another aspect to consider. It means that the customers have the data, but the information is hidden or is not enough for them to have insights. And the question is, how can we provide access, visibility, or transparency to get this information? Data management, yeah. And then when you realize that you don't have dark data, we've got another question. How can we manage this massive quantity of information we've got? How can we combine the information that comes from virtual world with the real world? And how can we make this data available to the whole team? I mean, available to all levels of organization, from field level to the board level. Another challenge is collaboration. How can we get the collaboration of the whole team or of an expert? And sometimes to get collaboration is necessary to include colleagues or specialists from other plants or even from other countries. Time to market. It's not a secret that more and more we have to make fast decisions to be the first in the market, to deliver first. How can we manage everything in real time to facilitate our decisions? Data consistency within many data sources. And this data can be a document, trend, historic data, shift log, lab results, or process like level or pressure or engineering calculations. My question is, which data is the right one as we have in many sources? And the last question is, how can we follow the information that has been created since the planning phase, the project phase, from the engineering point of view to the operational view during the whole plant life cycle? There are some factors that might affect the challenges in the data complexity. For instance, increased regulatory, increased costs, reduced response times, reduced staff counts, reduced staff experience. I will not go through all this because I believe that the main message is clear. Complexity is on the rise. Human capability to keep up is on the decline. Today's challenges in managing plant engineering data. To sum up, we could say that sometimes even with a mountain of data, we can be totally blind. Just because we don't have access to this data, or the information is not trustable, or because we cannot visualize the information in one appropriated way. What Siemens has a solution for these challenges is PlantSight. because PlantSight can offer you visibility through the eyes of an expert. How? We can bring this data that we have in different data sources to each level or person of the organization. As you can see here, we can bring visibility from financial data, HSE data, reliability, quality, analytics, or operations. Then we are going to combine them using customer expertise and specialists. Then later, this captured data and now contextualized data will be displayed in a better view. And by doing this information will be available and visible to each area or person inside the organization. And they will be able to get access to the information they need and get all benefits and insights to minimize or eliminate the challenges that we have just seen. Now, I would like to draw your attention to this slide here. The complete PlantSight asset portal approach include the engineering view and the operational view. On the left-hand side, we have engineering view. This is the area where we contextualize data from different sources. We can build up a portal, and in this portal, we can aggregate and validate the data. We can access all this data within the portal, and this data can be 1D, 2D, or 3D. And we also can have static or dynamic data visualization. As this is a collaboration portal, there the participants can share data, can get alerts, and all information will be always synchronized. Moving to the right-hand side, in the operational view, we combine input from different applications. We can manage critical assets, and we also can find bad actors. We are going to see some examples during the live demonstration. We can have real-time production optimization, and we can have KPI management, and this is going to facilitate shift handover, for example, easily. And this right-hand side is the part that we're going to have the live demonstration today with Gerd. And some of these examples here, we're going to see live. This slide explains in a simple view how this process works. We bring together all data from different sources. This data can come from ERP or DCS, engineering tool, laboratory, or whatsoever place you have those data. We connect with this data source. Then we collect those data and organize them. With all this data organized, then we contextualize them and we visualize them in our hands or in a big screen. So this process is going to be explained a little bit better during the architecture phase. And this process, this solution is going to empower your decisions anytime and anywhere. PlantSight improves your operations performance. Now, I will hand over to Gerd to the live demonstration. Gerd?
Yes, Alex. Here we go. Hope everybody can see my screen now. My name is Gerd Kling. Dominic introduced me already. Welcome to that part you're going to see now. This is our PlantSight live demo that shows multiple examples from a lot of different industries, and today we're going to focus on the digital reliability part, the PlantSight part. as Alex already mentioned, with our asset portal, and I go to the chemicals demo for today's presentation, allows us access to lots of information coming from different sources. So this is an example, use case that in our demo system. It's a real system, but it's fake data, so there's no customer data inside. That gives us the opportunity to drill down from the basic starting page where we say, okay, this is an overview of a complete corporate approach with multiple sites, where we show information coming from multiple sources at the very first page in an aggregated way for multiple sites, including production data and including asset health data. Here with aggregated KPIs for the complete site, we can get in more detail about production data, target fulfillment of the actual production day, as well as a list with showing us the bad actors with a first indication about the aggregated asset health of specific assets, the worst actors in this case, in this list, coming from the different locations, and as well the most important recommendations that we get from our asset performance management tool about a possible recommendation about possible failure modes, what might happen to some of our assets in the near future. Of course, we have filters to select and have color code indications about where some measures might be necessary. That's the reason why I click on the Karlsruhe site now, where we then get specific information about the Karlsruhe production site. On our basic template, we have some information about the process. Here on the left-hand side, we have a table with the different pieces of assets that we have grouped by rotating equipment or by fixed equipment, other stuff. And again, we have this asset information with the bad actors, and we have the recommendation now specifically for the Karlsruhe site. This, what you can see here, is another template. So everything we do inside PlantSight is template based. That means we never start by zero. We always have something where we start from, but we are not limited to that. All these templates can be adapted and are typically adapted in each project with our customers to the specific needs of the customers, and of course also to the specific data sources that are available for this project. So we have never completely repeating a plant. There might be some changes everywhere. So we have the basic templates to reduce the engineering work, but we are flexible and we are able to adapt to requirements of our customers. So again, we have that indication here about an issue with this pump. So I click on the pump and then we open the pump list. As a first indication, I get a list of all the pumps in this site so that I can better benchmark and see about the actual situation of the pumps here. And I see, yes, there are two bad performers obviously here on the site. I get more aggregated data here from the other sites. And again, the recommendations here. And as you see here already, more detailed information like the operation hours, lifetime indication, MTBF, NDPR, the different manufacturers. All that gives you a better idea of how to compare the actual pump we are looking for with all the others. For example, we might search for a specific manufacturer here and learn out of that and make better decisions in the future. Also coming back if we maybe build a new plant or when we have to order some spare parts on that. We could go into more detailed pump analytics. A lot of options here, but as we are a little bit limited in time, I go to the pump detail page. That shows us now specific information focused on the pump we were looking for. And here you see some health indices, operation hours, OEE data coming from our OEE calculation module. process values coming from the real-time system, could be the DCS, the SCADA system, or the process historian, in comparison with design data coming from the engineering tool, where we have the basic design data of this specific pump. We can integrate alarms and alerts coming from the alarm logging of the DCS or the SCADA system, or from another alarm database where you gather already your alarms. Of course, filtered and focused on that specific pump we are looking on. Some necessary work permits here. Again, the recommendation from our asset performance management tool, and then some more detailed information about the behavior of the pump coming from the local historian, where we also can integrate the data here. But there is much more on that. On the reliability tab, we show more detailed information about the pump. The shutdown and startup events may be not that relevant for standard pumps, but for big pumps or high pressure pumps or compressors or turbine, relevant information to count that, to know about the last and maybe a few of the last startup behaviors. We have some more trends. You again see the availability and OEE parameters of the pump, integrated information coming from our vibration monitoring system, the energy consumption. That's always a nice indication about abnormal behavior. Specifically, if you have the specific energy consumption of a device like a pump. And we have already here some statistics about count failures and outage durations of this pump. On the maintenance tab, we get detailed information coming mainly from the maintenance management system. This could be SAP, PM, or Maximo, or others, where we also can connect to, grab information from there and present it here on this web page with work orders, available spare part, whatever is available, and makes the life of the maintenance manager here easier. And also, Alex mentioned that what you see here, this is maybe specifically for the maintenance guys, but our system is the collaboration platform for both, for operation and for maintenance, and for better collaboration of these two user groups. And the engineering tab, finally, we see the opportunity that Alex also mentioned to bring together documents and applications together with all the data coming from the process. The PlantSight approach is to be the integration platform for all the data that is created during engineering, like P&IDs, as Alex told it, 1D, 2D, and 3D data, all brought together in a complete digital twin, including all that information and including all the links to necessary external applications. That means we have everything available here by 1 or 2 mouse clicks that might be needed to do some investigation on this pump. So one example is we want to see maybe in a P&ID. In this case, I click on the P&ID tab, and in a new browser tab, we open the Commos web client that is automatically opened and now focused already on the pump we were just investigating. Of course, we like Commos equipment here and Siemens applications, but we are not limited to that. If you have other systems here in use, we could replace that link, of course, with another application. Another feature is the integration of the 3D visualization. 3D visualization gets more and more important. We have multiple installations of this kind of software on offshore devices, where having a 3D model of the offshore device is very helpful in saving a lot of money by giving our customers the capability to do specific work onshore and not have to go offshore, because they have to complete digital twin and a complete 3D model of their plant here, but also being more important to help for the collaboration between the different team members, and also allow better access and better 3D and visual information about the existing plants, even if they're not offshore, if they are close to the building where the people sit. Customers told me, look, with that 3D visualization, we are sitting in our meeting room, we talk about what we are doing here, where we have to go, and honestly, me and my older colleagues, we all know where this pump is and where the building is. Some of the younger don't know, and in the next 5 years, this kind of work, this kind of maintenance and cleaning work will be done by external staff, and they won't even find the building without our education. So we need something to tell them where they have to go. Yeah, this is the last example for the integration stuff. Let me go back to our overview page. That's where we came from, and giving you just a rough overview that what we have available in our demo, and where we have example applications and where we have references in the different industries that you see here, where we all have different use cases. Just picking out one of them, maybe the water demo, where we have also a few references all over the world with a different visualization, different bar graphs, different charts, different KPI visualization. KPI visualization and KPI calculation and Kpi Monitoring is one of our basic functionalities. So in this example, you see 1 year trend that shows the capacity of a water resource, and you see the color coding with the traffic light stuff. And I say green is good, yellow is a warning, the red zone is an alarm, and you easily can compare this year values with the values from the last year, giving you a nice overview with one view in a graphical analytics of this data coming from the historian. Of course, you don't have to sit in front of the screen and watch that. With our alarm and notification part, Alex will talk about it later, these KPIs can be monitored continuously, and if we detect a deviation from the good operation window, we send an alert and a notification inside the system or via SMS or email to the users that subscribe to that notification, so that they are informed what is happening in the plant. Our user interface is web-based, so what you see here is a browser window in Google Chrome, but we are not limited to the desktop interface. Just to show you one small example, I'm using here Google Chrome with this developer tools that allows me to show how the views would look like on other devices, and I selected an iPad here. That shows again one example from our refining operations intelligence part, where we can now with a fingertip go to another page showing other KPIs from refining, and also again other examples for color codes and visualization and how we're doing that, and how that could look like on a smart device, like a tablet. But we have also examples where we're doing that on smart devices like classes, where we can integrate like in AR/VR approach, real-time data, maintenance data, documents into the view of the classes to the different users when they are walking through the plant and standing in front of an asset. So, Alex, that was the part of the live demo. if you are ready, you can take.
Just give me a second.
The next part.
Hopefully you can see the full screen.
You're back, yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Gerd, for this demonstration. And as Gerd has just showed us, we could see some examples of plant comparisons, assets being monitored, some types of reports, different visualization modes. We could also see some models that could be used by different areas of the company, and some specific production analysis, and many other examples. So everything could be seen in a big screen like this, or in a mobile device. Again, we can see some benefits here of the solution, and on the right-hand side, some common areas where the solution can be applied, like quality or energy management and others. Okay, once we have seen that, let's see how the architecture looks like, but don't be afraid. It looks complicated, but it's not. Again, we have here data sources and different places. So this can be a historian, a batch, or SAP, or cloud. So everything we need to bring transparency. Then the second layer is the connectivity. We have an existing framework. This framework does not need to be programmed like lines of code. That's a easy interface connector with low effort and high performance. One very important thing here is that we do not duplicate data. We do not create another lake of data. The master data remains the same. Then we have two more areas. So we have performance management and intelligent server. Intelligent server is the area where all these data are put together, and the aggregation and contextualization take place, where we define some access, authorizations, auditing, monitoring. Here is where the templates are going to be generated. Performance management is the area responsible for alerts, all type of notifications, emails, alarms, SMS. We have reports, logs and shift reports, the dashboard that you're gonna print out, converting production in money, and targeting management, the KPIs you have to achieve. Let's move one step further, and then we have analytics, visualization, and interoperability. So here in analytics, analytics is the area responsible to help you by creating a better integration between analytic tools and the system. So visualization, as we explained before, we can provide the solution to you in many different ways, many different types of visualization. And interoperability is the area responsible for the link with the third-party applications, where we can provide the content to externals. And this link can be OPC UA or Java, and etc. And on the top, some examples of third-party applications like Microsoft Excel, or enterprise portals, SharePoint, or reportings like SQL Server, or IoT platforms like MindSphere. Yeah, this slide shows us that, for example, one asset, like one pump, but this could be a compressor or other important asset in your plant, has connection with all this range of solutions and platform. Engineering tools like drawings and PIN-ID, maintenance management, maintenance scheduling, comments about the maintenance, maintenance that was done, 3D, as Gerd mentioned, so operations management, so how many hours this pump has been operating, the conditioning, behavior, etc. So DCS, where is my asset in the process, or documents and communication if you need some extra support, for example, and analytics and asset performance. But one important comment here is that we would like to have only Siemens solutions, but it's not mandatory to be only Siemens solution. We can use other brands if you wish. Typically, we do not replace existing infrastructure. We integrate into it. Yeah, with this, we believe that we can bring insights to everyone and provide better collaboration. No matter if you are a operations manager, a plant manager, a plant engineer, or a maintenance operator, because all of them will get access to the information they need in real time easily. And this will allow them to make a better decision, increase asset performance, reduce operating costs. A single and complete digital twin for everyone and for every discipline. Everything in real time based on consolidated data from multiple sources. Now I will hand over again to Gerd. Gerd?
Thanks, Alex. I'm back. Yeah, we go now on, as the overview slide says. My second slot here during this Tech Talk session is giving you some ideas about how applications, examples, and references can look like with our PlantSight approach. So we've seen in one of the further slides that we have a lot of different use cases and different opportunities. So that is one of our strengths. Once the infrastructure is installed, we can address a lot of topics as well for the operations guys as for the maintenance guys. One of the examples I picked out is energy management, becoming more and more interesting. Since we had maybe 10 years ago a first approach, now we see a lot of customers coming back to get interested in optimizing their energy management and reducing their energy consumption. So with our PlantSight approach, we can help doing that by creating transparency about the actual energy consumption, because transparency about the energy consumption is the basic information you need before you can improve. Without knowing where and what you consume, you won't be able to optimize. And based on that, leveraging our capabilities to connect to existing data sources where we can get together the different consumption data of the different energies like gas, steam, water, electricity, everything that matters. With our capability to calculate KPIs, we can aggregate energy consumption, but as well drill down to specific users and also calculate KPIs to get a better impression about the specific energy consumption of specific assets, because this gives us much more detailed information than just the raw data. We can calculate energy consumption per batch, per product, per campaign, whatever that makes sense. And monitor that, as we mentioned before. It's not only about visualization, it's also about monitoring. So we could easily create that kind of KPI, monitoring energy consumption limits, also supporting for energy balances and things like that. And by creating lot notifications if you reach a threshold. So we have customers that use our system for monitoring the the electricity prices on the spot market. So they are typically producing oil from oil sands. It's a company in Canada, but depending on the actual oil prices and depending on the energy prices on the spot market, they stop their complete production and use all the steam they are able to generate to create electricity and sell this on the spot market, because then they make more money than producing oil out of the oil sands for a certain time. One of the examples, like we can support energy management. We have also some more recent use cases where we even can integrate building data, building energy consumption, building information management into a joint portal, specifically in industries like pharmaceuticals and so on, where also the status of the building automation is quite important for the automation. The operating envelope management is one of the basic pieces. It don't have to be and don't have to look like that complicated as you see on this example. This can be an easy minimum or maximum value of a pressure, of a temperature, but also more complex operation windows for processes that can be monitored with our system. So that can be asset-wise, that can be process-wise. No limits there. That means we are monitoring continuously the good operation window of a process, of an asset, and so on. And by detecting deviations, again, we create notifications based on that. This can be complex stuff from asset and processes, as well as simple target monitoring of the daily production targets, where we can where some customers, for example, create KPIs in a very simple way, but very helpful, where I say, okay, let's have a look at the actual production rate. As long as we can fulfill our daily target with this actual production rate, the KPI is green, or the traffic light of the KPI is green. If we detect with the actual production rate, we cannot reach the daily target anymore, but we were able to, if we can do the maximum production rate, then it turns yellow. And with finally the calculation that says even with maximum production rate, we cannot reach our daily target, we turn it into red. Simple approach, but gives a nice insight to the manager, and also being able to get a notification about that. He can immediately detect the deviation and make fast and in real-time decisions to maybe avoid losses or a late delivery for this day. As we are very strong in kind of process industries and continuous industries, as you might have seen also from our demo, we are not limited to that. We have also a lot of applications and use cases that fit for batch industries, like this batch analyzer. The batch analyzer gives our users the capability to compare different batches. That is something that some of the batch systems, of course, allow too. The difference here is that we are not limited to one batch system. So we have customers that are comparing their batches, compare the actual batch with the golden batch, with data coming from different countries, coming from different DCS or SCADA suppliers, getting all the data into our system, make it available here, and then compare the different batches with each other. But we are not only limited to the data coming from the control system. So we grab the data from the batch system to define batch start, batch end, and also the time frame for the steps and the functions and so on. And we can get data from the SCADA, DCS, or historian to show them the pressures, the temperatures during the batch. But not on that view, but you see the small icons in that Gantt chart. We could add, for example, lab results from these batches to get an idea about the quality. We can easily add the alarms that happened during that batch coming from the alarm logging, and with all that provide a complete overview about what happened during that batch, and give the process engineers a better idea what happened, to learn what is the best way, and then to also define their golden batch. We have additional applications that also allow the monitoring of the batch during the runtime and detect deviations early in order to prevent from creating lots of waste, probably because we know or we realize early that we won't reach the necessary quality in one batch, so that we can stop it or repair or start some measures to prevent that. We have also customers that split that screen, where they have the actual batch in the center of this view, have the recent batches on the left-hand side, and integrate the future batches from their scheduling system to give a complete production overview in a graphical way. After some use cases picked out, just a few more detailed descriptions of some references that are picked out more from the relevant region. In UK, this is the Total reference in the Kling gas field, where we have this complete digital twin solution, where we have 3D visualization, where we have our PlantSight digital reliability part, where we give access to the customer on the 3D view with our digital twin approach, real-time information coming from the asset performance management, and allow them an efficient decision making and proactive operation management by making all the necessary information from this asset available in our screen. Dresser-Rand is using our PlantSight approach for their fleet management, for their midstream compressors and turbines. Again, using the capabilities to make all relevant information, documentation, documents, and applications available by 1 or 2 mouse clicks, giving them a big support for maintaining their assets and working on issues if they have to service them because of a repair or their condition-based maintenance. RKBP reference in the Ivar Aasen oil field in the Northern Sea close to Norway is another example for our PlantSight integrated approach, where they achieved real high cost savings by doing trainings and other preparing work, and also the operation in their offshore operation center, where they say, okay, we could maximize our production with 70% less people on the platform, and that turned out into approximately 30% cost saving. Again, with our approach we described here, in this time with a complete Siemens portfolio approach, Commos for engineering, Simit for simulation, Simatic PCS7 for automation, XHQ and PlantSight for the 3D visualization and the condition-based maintenance visualization with our approach, and of course the real-time decision support for the operations part. These were some examples of references. As you can see here, we are very strong in oil and gas. We have references in more than 175 of the major refineries. Approximately 30% of the world's refining capacity is visualized in our system, as well onshore, offshore. upstream, midstream, and downstream. Lots of references there. You can have a look on the logos there. Not all of them are already covered, as we are not easily allowed to show the logos here. So you see we have major, huge installations with ExxonMobil. We have, and Saudi Aramco the same. Not only oil and gas, we have also installations in chemicals. Huge installation at BASF, Ludwigshafen, and 3 other sites. But also upcoming other industries like pharmaceutical industries. We have references in Germany, Switzerland. We have also GSK, GlaxoSmithKline in multiple countries, including UK. The SR Oil reference has also one refinery, the Pembroke refinery in UK. And more upcoming. I showed you the water example. We have new references in water and wastewater. So as I said, our biggest number of references we have in oil and gas industries and petrochemical industries, but the complete process industry as well as hybrid industry are typical customers where our system can help the decision making in the operation as well as during the maintenance. To make a short wrap-up of what we have seen today about our PlantSight approach, Alex started with the challenges. We have lots of silos with lots of data, somehow there, but not really reachable. And our job is turning that data into information and make it available and contextualize everything we have so that it's easy to find and easy available. By having all that without that structure, it's not really easy to handle that. After the creation of our digital twin, all data, all information, all documentation, and all existing applications are linked to our digital twin, and it's easy to reach everything that's necessary by 1 or 2 mouse clicks, as I said before. And make that information available on multiple devices, on the desktop, on smart devices, on mobile devices, and giving each user the kind of information that he needs to get all information through the eyes of an expert. And based on that, we create benefits. So what you see here on the slide is proven benefit from existing customer installation that showed that the PlantSight approach is able to increase the asset availability, to improve the workforce efficiency, to reduce the total cost of ownership of the assets, reduce environmental incidents, and reduce the injury rate of the staff. All that together makes a good reason to try an approach with our PlantSight. And as you've seen, we have a lot of references in a lot of different industries. Maybe also the industry you are coming from might need a system like that. And the last thing I want to mention here is a very basic benefit. So according to this McKinsey report, they say typical employee spends 1.8 hours every day. That means something like 9 hours per week for searching and gathering information. So with that approach, that is a low-hanging fruit, an easy saving that can be done and helps every worker to be more effective and to concentrate on the work that he really should do instead of searching for information and searching for data. Plus all that hidden information that's in the dark data and is not available today, it gives every user a good opportunity to improve his work and to improve the efficiency of his company. And yeah, that's where I want to close.